G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, it's a bit of a cold old morning. I've got the workshop diesel heater going. You can hear that in the background. And today we're going to talk about welding, in particular welding helmets. Now this is my welding rig, my two units I've got. Down the bottom, the big one is a 4-coil peerless. That's an AC welder, and up the top the little yellow jigger, that's DC welder, and they both got long 400 amp cables on them, and yeah, they work well. I haven't got MIG, I haven't got TIG, I have got propane gas, so I bronze braze as well, but I don't use MIG. So I'm purely a stick welder in the basic steel welding weld. And as you can see, my helmet that I've had forever is one of the old flip down black indestructible CIG ones, and yeah, they work well. They're quite good. Overall, I'm just a average welder, and what I make doesn't generally fall apart. Anyway, cut to the chase. I was out at Paramount Brown's yesterday, and I was looking at their welding, the automatic darkening welding helmets, and I thought, maybe I should hit the 21st century and get one of these, because they're not very expensive. And to cut to the chase, yeah, I bought one. I've got what brand is it? It's a CIGWELD, and it's an ARCMASTER 4-sensor unit, $99, which I thought was pretty good. Everybody else sells it for 120, so Paramount's had a good price on it. And I mean, if you look at the range, that was the top of the range basically. And then they had another one which was $75, which only had 2 sensors. But I like the look of this. It's got a good big viewing screen, 4 sensors. I'll show you the box. So there it is. Fancy graphics on it. Could have had blue graphics or red graphics. So I went with the blue. CYBERSKULL ARCMASTER. Now I looked online to see what else was around. I've been looking for a little while, and I chose to buy CIGWELD because you know what you're getting. It's an Australian company. They make stuff to the Australian standards, and it should do what it says it does. You buy something from overseas, how good is it? Who knows? I mean, well, that's the whole problem. And this one does all the stuff, big TIG, stick, plasma, grind, you name it. And yeah, there she be. So I'll take it out and have a look at it. I've never used one of these before. All I've ever had is the old handheld or the flip down. And what I'm finding now as I'm getting older is my eyesight's not as good as it used to be, putting it mildly. And whereas I've been using a number 11 shade forever, now I think I should really be using a 10. It's a bit easier to see, and I generally do 10 range work, sort of 100 to 200 amp, so 10's okay for that. And with these, they are adjustable, so that'll be good. And you've got a bigger viewing area, and yeah, you can use both your hands. You don't have to flip down the visor, and there's a lot of advantages with these. I suppose I should have got one of these years ago, but if it works, well, why bother? And the old flip downs work fine for me. And anyway, spend some cash and buy one. I'll open it up and see what's inside. The other thing, the important thing that you get buying it locally is you can try it on and see if it fits. I mean, you know, I've seen some of these import ones from overseas and they're really small. The people with tiny heads, so yeah, buying it locally is definitely the way to go in my opinion. I mean, it's not a lot of money anyway. So what have we got here? We've got a bag to put it in. But actually they say that when you store these, the best thing is to store them in a clear plastic bag where they can get some light, so it keeps the battery charged up better, makes the battery last longer. So I just hang mine on the welding gear, so I'll just get a clear plastic bag from somewhere and just hang it on there where the old black one is now. That becomes, this is just a bit of a quick and dirty review, so what's in the box? So you get a spare front shield, and you get a back one as well. So look at it, internal. So I thought that was going to be there. I think they said that on the advertising. Oh, I can win a prize. Whatever that is, I have to check that out. Yeah, so all the usual stuff. How it works, I have to read, make sure I get the settings right. And have a look. I tried it out there and Paramount, and it fitted me beautifully. And it's nice and light, and it looks to be really well made. Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh? Love the graphics, they're good. Yeah, excellent. It's got weld and grind settings. Although if I was grinding, I probably wouldn't use this. I don't want to go pitting the visor. So if I was grinding, I'd probably just use the old helmet for that sort of dirty work. I'll have to look after this one. Like the old ones, you just, when you finish welding, you just chuck them on the ground. You can't hurt those things. And I've had a couple over the years, so it takes a lot to wear them out. And here's your darkness setting. 10 is what I'm going to be looking at. Looks really nicely made. Apparently you can adjust the helmet in or out for how close to the actual viewing window you're going to get, and then of course you tighten it for the size of your head. So it's all pretty normal stuff, you know. Okay, moving on. Right, this comes off. Good. It's stuck on pretty well. Yeah, there you go. So there's your 4 sensors, the solar array, and your viewing area. Okay, so the batteries must be already in it. Right, now this little switch on the side, which is grind or weld, basically when you have it in the grind mode, you turn off the auto darkening function, so save your batteries. So I should say that when you store it, you would leave it stored in the grind mode, and then if you want to use it for welding, you just put it into the weld mode, and then the screen will basically activate when it gets whatever light level you set it at, because you've got the high to low light sensitivity. Now I've got it on high, and if I hold this up to the fluorescent light above the bench, it darkens straight away. It's very effective. The actual adjustment out of the box is pretty much spot on for me. the viewing area is really good. It's got great coverage. Okay, let's try a bit of scrap steel. I'll use the AC welder. I will best with that. And we'll start off with it on 11, which is where I normally would weld. So this will be a 2.5 SIG rod and 100 amps. Give this a go. This is nothing fancy, just see how it tracks. Some gloves would help. I don't like heavy welding gloves, I just use riggers. All these things, riggers are probably better because they're leather. Anyway, this will do. Just keeps the UV off you. You can see with that quite well. Not bad at all. So that's an 11. Yeah, alright. Go down to 10.5. Give that a go. That wasn't too bad either. We'll go down to 10. Mm. 10 is really good, you can see quite clearly. Yeah, that's not bad. I'll just go a bit below it. About 9.5. That'll be as low as you'd want to go. That is really good. Yeah, I really like the way you can adjust this this brightness. A good bit more of that. That is really good. Okay, I'll go back to 10 again. 10 is probably your safest for ice drain. Yeah. That's bloody good, really, really good. When I first welded it, it seemed a little bit dim, but it's just a little bit of a different medium. But yeah, you can see exactly what you're doing, how it's tracking. Very, very good. I'll try one of these cheap shit Chinese rods, I don't know. I might have to bang up the amps some more. I don't know how it's going to go at 100. They generally need higher voltage. They will do okay, but you've got to give them more amps normally. So we'll see how we go on 10. That's the trouble with Chinese rods, they generally want more amps. If you do have trouble trying to strike these cheap rods, give them more angle and they generally strike easier. They will, well, you know, they will okay, you just got to get the combo right. That's on 10. I really like that. If you look at those welds, that's the one thing you notice. Virtually no spatter. So if you get your amps right, spatter should be minimum. And probably the worst welding I've ever seen for spatter is MIG, gasless MIG. Gasless MIG. I've seen some absolute shocking welding with that. With gas, fantastic, clean weld, beautiful. Gasless, as I said, I'm not a MIG man. I've never played around with MIG, but you can get nice clean results with stick without too much trouble. I mean, look at that, it's the same, virtually no spatter. Well, that's what you want, you know. Anyway, the helmet's a success, it's a great success. It's really good viewing area. I can see the whole job. I've got the overhead fluoro on. You always find it better with a light on. Although of course if you're outside, if you get sun in the back of the helmet, well that will wash out your vision, so you really don't want that. If you're going to be outside, make sure you've got some sort of cover over the back of the helmet. But inside in the workshop, yeah, have the fluoro on and generally it helps. Alright, well the helmet's a great success. It's perfect, exactly what I was after. Great viewing area, yeah, you can see, you know, plenty of the job. And play around with those settings, you know, if you start off on 11 and just work your way back. And yeah, I was surprised how well it was in 11, because 11's a bit too dark with the old style helmets, and whereas this 11 is not too bad. And yeah, I was getting good straight tracks, and yeah, I'd definitely recommend it. I think it's a really nice bit of gear. It's nice and light, it's comfortable, and I mean, I've still got to get used to not flipping it up when I finish the weld, but you know, with the clear vision, it's not too bad. I prefer really basically to have it up if I'm looking around the shop. But anyway, there you go, guys. $99. Yeah, I'd definitely recommend this. It's a step up. The brother-in-law, he's interested in getting one of these as well. So next time I see him, I'll give him a bit of a demo and see what he thinks of it. All right, that's it from me. Hope you got something out of it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.